But let's move down to Springfield for a little bit, check in with what's going on with the never-ending budget battle. This month, Governor Rauner has been talking about the idea of a grand bargain before legislators go home for the summer. He met with Speaker Madigan one-on-one. And Matthew, any hope after that meeting?
Political grandstanding at its best. It's so that everyone can say, hey, we had a meeting, and we can get the cameras to come and talk about the resolutions that we are trying to implement. No, I have no real faith that anything's going to come of their behind the doors meeting. Let's face it, if they were really trying to work on this, we wouldn't have known that there was a meeting going on. It would have been behind closed doors with no cameras, with no fanfare, and they would have come out, they would have had a joint press conference and said, hey, we've got a budget. That didn't happen. It's not going to happen.
Nancy, shortly after this meeting, Speaker Madigan appeared at a giant rally, 8,000 people in front of the Capitol, apparently pumping his fist. Is a picture worth 1,000 words there in terms of the prospects for a deal?
Well, and that audience was union members. So a very important distinction there, because regardless of some of the concessions that they appear to be maybe getting close to, that rock star moment of him raising his fist in front of the crowd seems to indicate that he's not really going to make some of those changes on prevailing wages or some of the other concessions that the governor wants for his turnaround agenda.
Well, he not only talks about prevailing wages, which is not going to happen. He talks about workman's comp reform. That's not going to happen. He's not going to, the Speaker of the House is not going to water down collective bargaining rights in Illinois. Everything that the governor is asking for in Illinois, Indiana already has a watered down workman's comp reform, a watered down collective bargaining, and already you have 2,000, you have Carrier who's wanting to move down to Mexico. So at what point will the governor see that, hey, listen, no one in Illinois wants to sign on to your agenda, your turnaround agenda, as it relates to middle-class families here in Illinois?
Although some legislators apparently have been working sort of independently in these working groups, and one of the proposals that's talked about is that they would agree to some of Rauner's reforms, but they would also impose higher income taxes, and they're talking about a new state income tax rate of 4.75%. Matt, is that the contours of a possible grand bargain?
That's the beginning of it, but it's not even near enough. The state is in such dire straits right now that not only do revenues need to be drastically increased, benefits and services also need to be drastically cut. No one wants to say that. It's very unpopular. I certainly don't like to hear it. And if I was a politician, I wouldn't want to get on TV and say it. But anyone who looks at the numbers and sees the financial distress the state is in, it can't be denied. We can't continue to go on this way.